Assalamu alaikum everyone. Welcome to Let's Talk. Today we are discussing something many people are afraid to talk about openly. Why do some people leave Islam not because they never knew it, but because life became difficult? Some of them memorized the Qur'an. Some could even explain its meaning. Yet when problems came, they slowly walked away. So the real question is, did Islam fail them or did they misunderstand the test? Today we explore this question with Alfa, an Islamic scholar, and our guest researcher who has studied many real cases. Alfa, let me start with you. Why do some people leave Islam when life becomes hard?
Bismillah. The first thing we must understand is this. Islam never promised a life without hardship. Allah tells us clearly that believers will be tested with fear, hunger, loss of wealth, and many forms of difficulty. But many people grow up thinking religion means life should become easier. So when hardship arrives, their expectations collapse.
But Alpha, something confuses many people. Some of the people who leave Islam are not ignorant. Some memorize the Qur'an. Some studied Islam deeply. Some even taught others. So how can someone know so much and still walk away?
Because knowledge in the mind is not always the same as certainty in the heart. A person can memorize verses, but do they truly know Allah? Do they truly understand that life is a test? Do they understand patience? When hardship arrives, the heart reveals what it truly believes.
That raises another difficult question. Who is responsible? Is it the scholars who failed to teach properly? Or is the person misunderstanding Islam themselves?
From many cases that have been studied, the issue is sometimes how Islam was taught. Some people were only taught rules, halal, haram, do this, don't do that. But they were never taught the deeper wisdom of faith. They were never taught about trials. They were never taught that even the prophets suffered greatly. So when hardship comes, they feel confused.
Let me bring up a real case many scholars have seen. There was a young man. He memorized the Quran. He could recite beautifully. He even explained the meanings to others. People respected him. But then, problems entered his life. He lost his job. His family situation became difficult. His dua felt unanswered. At first, he only asked questions. Then, frustration began. Then, anger. Eventually, he said something shocking. I studied Islam so deeply, but it did not fix my life. Slowly, he stopped praying, and eventually, he left Islam. Subhanallah. But how can someone memorize the Quran and still walk away?
Because reciting the Quran with the tongue is different from reflecting on it with the heart. Some people know the words, but they never build a real relationship with the one who revealed those words. Allah even asks in the Quran, do they not reflect upon the Quran, or are there locks upon their hearts? So sometimes the issue is not knowledge. The issue is the heart.
So the problem may not be Islam itself, but misunderstanding the purpose of life. Exactly. Some people approach religion like a transaction. I pray, so Allah must give me what I want. But Allah is not obligated to give us everything immediately. Sometimes Allah gives, sometimes Allah delays, sometimes Allah replaces what we asked for with something better, and sometimes the hardship itself is protecting us from something we cannot see.
So, leaving Islam rarely happens suddenly. It often begins with small doubts.
Yes. First, doubt. Then, distance from prayer. Then, anger. Then shaitan whispers during moments of pain, why is Allah doing this to you? Why are others happy while you suffer? If those whispers grow, faith becomes weak.
Alpha, let me challenge you with a difficult question that many people ask. If Allah is merciful, why does He allow suffering in the first place? And if someone suffers for years despite praying, is it wrong for them to feel abandoned?
Yes, this is a question many people struggle with. When pain lasts for years, it becomes difficult to understand the wisdom behind it.
This question has existed for centuries, but the answer begins with understanding one important truth. Allah never said this world is meant to be perfect. This world is temporary. It is a place of testing, not the final destination. If life were always comfortable, there would be no difference between patience and arrogance, between gratitude and ingratitude. Tests reveal what is inside the heart.
But someone might still say, why does my test have to be so hard? Even the prophets experienced deep suffering. Prophet Ayub lost his health, wealth, and family. Prophet Yusuf was betrayed and imprisoned. Our beloved Prophet Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam lost loved ones and faced rejection from his own people. Yet they never abandoned their faith. Instead, they became stronger through the test. So, suffering is not always punishment. Sometimes it purifies sins. Sometimes it raises a person's rank.
Exactly. The believer understands something important. Leaving Islam does not remove the test of life. Problems still exist. Pain still exists. The only difference is that the person has lost the guidance that helps them face those problems.
Subhanallah. So perhaps the real tragedy is not the test itself, but losing faith during the test. Before we end tonight, let me leave you with one final thought. Many people ask, why is Allah testing me? But maybe the deeper question is this: when the test comes, will it bring you closer to Allah, or will it push you away from Him? Because every human being will face storms in life. The real difference is this: some people walk away from Allah during the storm, and some people walk toward Him. So when your test comes, which one will you be? Let's talk.